It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on Saturday, the 26th day of February 2022. This is another episode of Travel and Cruise Industry News. Today is National Pistachio Day. Now, folks, I'm a big fan of nuts. We've talked about that before, especially cashews, dry roasted peanuts. I'm not a big fan of pistachios. They're too much work for what little good you get out of them, to me. But it's National Pistachio Day, so if you want to go get some pistachios and go through all the hassles for such a little bit, go right ahead. You can celebrate for me. All right, a busy weekend ahead in the cruise industry from North America. Cruise ships sailing today down in Amelia Island, Florida. You got the ACL Independence, Port Canaveral, Mariner of the Seas, Carnival Mardi Gras, Disney Fantasy, Norwegian Escape, Carnival Magic. Down in Port Everglades, the Regal Princess, Sky Princess, New Amsterdam, Celebrity Apex, Celebrity Reflection, Odyssey of the Seas. In Miami, Symphony of the Seas, Carnival Sunrise, MSC Seashore, Norwegian Joy, Carnival Freedom, and Oceania Riviera. From New Orleans, you got Carnival Valor. Out in Long Beach, you got Carnival Panorama. And in San Pedro, Majestic Princess. Tomorrow, since we don't do a show on Sunday, at least from here, we've got the Cruise Amigos, of course, coming up. Tomorrow, ships that sail from New York to Manhattan, you got the Norwegian Getaway. Bayonne, you got Anthem of the Seas. Baltimore, Carnival Legend. Port Canaveral, Meraviglia. Harmony of the Seas. West Palm Beach, the Grand Classica. Port Everglades, Allure of the Sea, Celebrity Edge, Caribbean Princess, Rotterdam, Eurodam, and Emerald Princess. Miami, you got Oasis of the Seas, Carnival Horizon, MSC Divina, Norwegian Encore, Seabourn Ovation, and Scarlet Lady over in Tampa. Carnival Pride, Norwegian Dawn. New Orleans, Carnival Glory, Norwegian Breakaway. Galveston, Liberty of the Seas out in San Diego. Zuiderdam and Koningsdam, and from St. Pedro, the Norwegian Bliss. So it's a full weekend of cruise ship sailings. That's always a good sign for the cruise industry. Today's headlines, we will get to the stories in a bit. Several more cruise lines cancel cruises to Russia for 2022. UK flights barred from Russia airspace. CDC relaxes masks. Delta suspends deal with Aeroflot. Maui updates protocols. Complimentary testing at the port. Boy, we haven't talked about that for a while. This is a different one. And several other things live at 11. If you're listening to the podcast, folks, you're always welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, like TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and voila, you'll get the old fat travel guide. I do tend to post pictures and clips from cruises I'm on or from cruises folks in the family are on, in the Chillie Cruises family. So if you are listening to the podcast, you might want to check down in the description for the link to see the video side of things if you want to check out the pictures or clips that we might have, which there are a couple. But before I get to that, a very special happy birthday today to Hot Air Tom's much better half, Cindy. And by the way, Cindy, I am so looking forward to cruising with you guys this summer. But I do want to wish you a very special happy birthday. All right. One quick thing from our buddy Lynn over there in Cairo. She's back in Cairo after the Nile River cruise. And by the way, folks, this was such a fabulous thing. They've already booked it again. So they're going to go back and do it all over again. Same time, same place next year. But anyway, they're back in Cairo, but they're in a different hotel. She said, this is not near as nice as the first one, but this is pretty nice too. And now we're getting ready to have their farewell dinner before they head back home. So anyway, Lynn, LRC, we have enjoyed this immensely. You sharing a part of the trip with us. It's been terrific fun. I've enjoyed it especially. So more than 3,000 flights to, from, and within the United States were canceled yesterday as another sprawling winter storm system brought rain, snow, and ice to states as widespread as Texas and Massachusetts. On Thursday, 2,147 U.S. flights were canceled, more than half of which were scheduled to fly to or from Dallas-Fort Worth area, which saw cold temperatures and freezing rain. While that was all happening, all the flights from Nanuka, the north, that's John's farm in northern Minnesota, have been canceled for 6 weeks now because of temperatures of minus 30 degrees and 9 feet of snow at John's farm. No flights in or out of John's farm. So I'll be back with serious news after this word from one of our network sponsors. Back with the news for today, folks. As conflict between Russia and the Ukraine increases, several more cruise lines have announced that they have either completely canceled calls for the remainder of 2022 or are preemptively making alternative plans should they need to cancel port visits there. Added to yesterday's list, Atlas Ocean Cruises, Royal Caribbean, of course, they're joining Celebrity, which is, part of the Royal Caribbean umbrella, Windstar, and Viking River Cruises. So on Friday, yesterday, of course, Moscow accused UK's aviation authorities of unfriendly actions with its ban of Russian's airline Aeroflot and subsequently barred all UK airlines from Russian airspace. I'm not so sure that's good or bad. The move comes in response to the United Kingdom's banning of the Russian airline from landing on its shores or using its airspace as part of the package of sanctions against Russia. The CDC relaxed its mask-wearing guidelines yesterday, allowing most Americans to forgo masking while indoors in public. The new guidance introduces an updated framework for how local officials can assess the risk of the virus when setting community guidelines or restrictions, rather than focusing solely on the case counts as the metric for determining masking recommendations. The CDC now advises localities to focus on 3 measures: new coronavirus-related hospitalizations, the percentage of hospital beds filled by COVID-19 patients, and the rate of new cases per 100,000 people. These were symptoms or confirmed cases are still advised to wear masks. Those with symptoms or confirmed cases are still advised to wear masks regardless of local rules. While the new federal guidelines are effective immediately, it remains largely up to local authorities to determine when to impose or lift mask mandates. But know that masks will continue to be required, at least in the immediate future, on all airplanes and at airports. So those of you that don't like to fly with the mask on, too bad. That's the way it's going to be for a while. Carnival Cruise Line's first celebration voyage is now well underway, with the Carnival Miracle making its first port of call during the first special voyage when she visits Honolulu today as part of the cruise line's year-long 50th birthday celebration. When Carnival Miracle is nil Ensenada in Baja, Mexico on March the 6th, there'll be a meetup at sea with the Carnival Radiance. This will be the first ship party meetup for the birthday celebrations. Speaking of Hawaii, although Hawaii has been among the strictest places in the United States when it comes to fighting COVID, popular tourist destination Maui ditched its remaining requirement for proof of vaccination or testing to access indoor spaces as of last week. Proof of vaccination or testing will no longer be required for indoor service at restaurants, bars, and gyms, per Maui Mayor Michael Victorino. It's important to note that the indoor mask requirement will remain in place until Governor David Iggy lifts it. Delta Airlines said yesterday that it has suspended its code share program with Aeroflot, the Russian flagship airline. The suspended co-share came a day after the United States announced new sanctions on Russia over the invasion of Ukraine. Aeroflot is majority owned by the Russian government. While both airlines are members of the SkyTeam Alliance, the code-share agreement between them is relatively small compared to the code-shares between Delta and other SkyTeam members, such as Air France and KLM. And basically, the way that works, folks, is they share. And if there's a flight from Moscow to JFK, okay, they each will share links back to the other flights. So they've cut Aeroflot off of that program. One of the biggest hassles for cruisers right now is worrying about receiving their negative COVID test in time before their cruise. Everybody that's been on a cruise has panicked over, oh my God, can I get this done 48 hours before I sail? And what happens if it doesn't work? And it's an uneasy thing. I've done it several times now. You still get kind of tightened up about it. However, one cruise line is taking the pain out of this process by now offering free testing right at the port before you board your cruise ship. And who is it? Our buddies in the little cruise line that can. Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line will now offer complimentary COVID testing at the port of Palm Beach. This means that cruisers no longer will have to take a test 48 hours before and wait for the results to come in. They can show up at the port on the day of the cruise, get tested moments before boarding. In addition, masks on board Grand Classica will be optional starting March the 1st. So that is going to finish me up with the news for the day. So let's go see who's in the chat room. Jack's with us. So by the way, Jack did a couple things. One, Jack, I sent you a message on the question you had for me. In case you didn't get it, I will. When I got off of Freedom of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean ship that I got off of, there was no issues at all with disembarkation. The Royal Caribbean folks took me off the boat, down the gangplank, into the terminal, and then they turn you over to, in that case, Miami's port folks. They take you through customs to get your luggage, all the things you have to do, and then ask you where you want to go, which to me, it was, I need to get to wherever their Ubers are. And so they took me out to the curb. So there was no problem at all with disembarkation on any of the 3 cruises. The disembarkation went fine. My problem was like yours, Jack, getting on. And Jack had some very nice things to say about the Adventure of the Sea folks and the crew, the staff, the ship itself. So I was glad to hear those kind of things from Jack, because I'm going to be on it here on the 28th of March. So anyway, Jack's with us from Cozumel today, as the Adventure of the Seas is in Cozumel, 78 degrees and partly cloudy down in Mexico. Gretchen's here. Greetings from Orlando, 78 degrees there also. Carol's here. Amy's with us, leaving for American Queen vacation tomorrow. I'm looking forward to hearing about that one, Amy. I'm really looking forward. I have not booked an American Queen yet, but I'm looking at several of them. Yeah, I haven't come up with the time to do it yet. But yeah, so I'm going to look forward to your reports. Nikki's with us. She says, good morning to everybody. Hot Air Tom's here. Good morning, Tom. Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. Tom says, happy birthday to Cindy. I am at Toyota dealer getting cousin's car inspected. Jack, are you going to the No Name Bar? That's unless you're for somebody that's mobility challenged, getting to the No Name Bar is a little difficult. It takes some special doings, especially depending on where the boat parked, the ship parked. I know, quit calling them boats. You'll fuss at me again. If they were up at the right near the No Name Bar, it's not so bad. The scooter can run right over there. But if you're 3 miles away, then you got to go through getting a scooter equipped van and then having them come back and meet you and hoping that works out. But anyway, it did for me. And I'll do it again. Now, next time I'm in Cozumel, I'm going back to see Alma and the crew and have some of that scrumptious, whatever that word is, delicious guacamole. They have the best guacamole in Mexico, I think. It was really good. So, everybody's saying happy birthday to Cindy. Tomorrow is the 47th anniversary for Roger, the anniversary of the day Roger and Nikki met. And Roger is still celebrating the day he met you, Nikki. Wow. I don't know. Roger, one of these days, Roger's going to kill me. What can I say? So, how about a rocket pack to fly around, Jack? Yeah, that would work. Kenneth's with us. Good morning, everybody. Ready for part 2, Kenneth? Tom, please wish Cindy a very happy birthday. Happy anniversary of your meeting day, Nikki. Everybody saying happy birthday, happy anniversary. Kenneth says they're ready for warm weather. I know. Me too. I can't wait. Folks, believe it or not, I am really looking forward to driving. You know, my driving has been across town to the doctor or to the hospital or, forever now. I haven't driven out to Kentucky to see my grandkids and Jason since before the pandemic. So it's been a couple of years since I've driven out to Louisville. I mean, I used to drive, I've driven over 100,000 miles a year in many years. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm seeing, number one, to seeing how well my body will take long distance driving again too, which I have not done for a long time. But I've given myself plenty of time that I can piddle and still get there. Amy says, I hate wearing a mask too, but I think in an airplane, it's only common sense. I tell you one thing. I stayed mad when I was on that damn stuffed into that full plane. I put on 2 masks and still wasn't comfortable. I was not happy about that at all. I won't wear it on the cruise ship if I don't have to, but sitting around in a metal tube for hours, I'm going to wear one. That's a good move, Amy. I'm still planning on. I'm keeping my mask basically around my neck, like I do a good bit of the time anyway. When I'm on the ship, and if I get in a situation where there's, people crowding me, I'll just put it on, just hopefully to protect myself some. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing it to protect other people, which is one of the main reasons we mask to start with. It's going to be totally a selfish thing for me because I don't want their damn virus spread on me. Nikki says, I agree. The last 4 flights we were on this year were completely booked. If not COVID, there were probably tons of cold and flu germs floating around. Yeah. So again, I've gotten so accustomed to it. It's not going to bother me in the least to wear a little, at least in specific circumstances. We go out to dinner. Nobody around here is wearing masks anymore. We do. When I go into a restaurant, I got a mask on. When I get to the table, I'll take it down. When I go to check out and pay my bill, my mask's back on again. I'm sorry, it doesn't bother me. If it bothers anybody else, too bad. Emily says, Chillie, you have beat me with a wet noodle. I bought the walkie-talkie home again. Uh-huh. We're going to start calling Emily the walkie-talkie snatcher or something. I don't know. Katie says, Emily, you're a disaster. My mask is on a lanyard, Park West. Hang it when I have it off. It hangs when I have it off. Yeah, Park West. That's a bad name to your lungs, hot air. Probably where you picked up your virus for you and Cindy. I have a couple of those lanyard masks made by a sport copper company. They have copper in the material. Katie says, I would disown Park West. Yeah, I agree. Gretchen says, oh, Emily. I ran out the door literally. You got to think before you do that, Emily. You're going to get in trouble one of these days. Hot Air says, I'm disowning celebrity for setting up the seating without any distancing. Well, no, that's an interesting thing too, but I'd imagine that I think you probably might have to do some equal blaming on that one. I didn't know I did it till I ran upstairs. Well, and just don't let any doggies run out with you, Emily. I booked the hot pools in Tortola for our Chillie Tom cruise in August. Need Nikki to come along. I don't think Chillie will go there or Cindy. Can I get to them? Can I get my scooter anywhere near them? I I'll have to look that one up, Hot Air. I don't recall if those are accessible, if that's an accessible excursion or not, but I'll do some checking on that one. I have no problem if I can, as long as I can get the scooter there and don't have to walk very far. I got no problem at all with that. And goodness knows, hot pools, I'd love that. Oh, Emily's thinking about changing job places to another doggy daycare. It's probably not a very good idea to talk about that online, Em. A little hard to keep that a secret while you're negotiating or whatever you're doing. Chillie, you can come down here and drive us around I-4 for fun. Yeah, absolutely. Jack says, bye now. Hi, Jack. Emily says. Nobody drives on I-4 for fun. That's kind of like I-5 out in California, too. Nobody does that for fun either. I'm actually looking forward to going across 10, y'all. I can run 10 all the way. And until I want to get off and get down on the beach, which I'll do that probably several places because there's such neat places across the Panhandle. And then you get into places like Pascagoula, Mississippi, and Gulfport, Alabama, and Mobile, and then Louisiana into New Orleans. I'm looking forward. That's going to be a fun week for me. And who knows where the shows will be coming from, guys. No idea where I'm going to be, what days I'm going to be where. We'll make the best of it. So Amy says, I think the planes are only going to fly full for the foreseeable future with the oil situation and price. I think you're right there. Cruising is fun anytime. Morning. Good morning to you guys too. My flight to New York was fully booked also. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that, especially with the prices going up like they have. And, the airlines are hurting. They're hurting as bad as the cruise lines are hurting. They're getting back. They're starting to come back. They're starting to, I can understand why they want to fill up the planes. But boy, I hated it. And again, this is the first time I've ever, this will be my 51st through 55th cruise. I'm doing 4 cruises, 2 and 2. They're 2 short ones on 2 different ships, but still they're booked as 4 cruises. So this will be 51 to 55 for me. I've never driven to a cruise, ever. I've always flown. So this is going to be a new experience for me. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hot Air says, I booked an excursion in Lithuania for June 16th of 2023. It goes to see a Soviet nuclear weapon site. We're to see a remaining nuclear missile. And wow, maybe you're going to see a remaining nuclear weapon. I think they've outlawed masks in Florida. That probably is so, but I still gonna have one around my neck when I'm down there. That part is back-to-back British Isles, ending in Copenhagen, then a Baltic cruise. What will the status of St. Pete be next June? That's a very good question, Hot Air. And again, I don't want to get into the political side of things in any way, shape, or form, because I've gotten in trouble here recently. People claiming that I'm being too political. And I certainly don't intend it to be that way. However, one of the problems with going to St. Petersburg, are you going to trust anything to happen in Russia from the Russian government come June. I know I wouldn't now, but let's see what June brings. Hot air. You'll love that mile marker when you enter Texas on I-10. Yikes, if you're going all the way west on I-10. I'm just going to Galveston. I'm not going all the way. I'm just going part way. Cruising Pooh's with us. 12 watching, only 5 likes. Come on, people. Thank you, Cruisin. I do appreciate it. There we go. Keep them coming. I do appreciate a cheerleader. Nikki says, road trips are great. I love driving, Katie says. Hey, Cruising Pooh, how are you? Emily says. 4 of you have not smashed the like button. I drive to Massachusetts every summer and back to Florida. That's good, Katie. I'm going total a little bit further than that, but not that much. But I'm spreading it over basically a month. I'm going to St. Petersburg. It will be in Florida. If I'm going to St. Petersburg, it'll be in Florida. That's so sad because St. Petersburg, Russia, was a wonderful place to visit from everything I've been able to tell. New York to Maine is a long drive for them. Yeah. Cruising is fun anytime. Thanks. Just remember to hit the like button. I do appreciate it, guys. As always, always appreciate having the thumbs up. It does help the channel out. So that's going to wrap me up for today, guys. Don't forget tomorrow, we've got the Cruise Amigos. That would be at 2 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, that's Eastern Standard Time. The Cruise Amigos will be Nanook of the North John and his 9 feet of snow and 30 below temperatures or whatever he's got up there now. And Amigo Martin, I'm sure I will have something to give Martin hell about. I always do. And then at 4, we got Pete's and the Cruising for Solo show with me, Pete, and Allison at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Gretchen, thank you very much for the super chat. Do appreciate it. Here's to returning to 37 degrees tomorrow. Oh yeah, going back to normalcy. So yeah, it's yesterday I got up to 64 here and then went to 24 last night. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It was actually snowing, a little flurry of snow this morning at first light here. So yeah, that's why I'm long sleeves. Maybe warms up a little bit today, but not like yesterday. I mean, that was nice, mid 60s. That was terrific. So, all right, that's going to wrap me up, guys. As always, appreciate you being here. Hope to see everybody tomorrow on the Cruise Amigos and the Cruises for Solo show. And if not, we'll see everybody back here on Monday for Travel and Cruise Industry News with the old fat travel guy. So for now, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully we'll all meet on the high seas really soon. This is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.